This is Dr. Bol Jock. Today, I want to discuss how you can study for PMP exam. I will use my example, the way I develop my study plan to help you study for your exam. And with that, I want to start with the principle you need to have in a study for exam or completing any task. The first one is the Parkinson's principle or the Parkinson's law, which states that a goal expand or retract to fill the allotted time. The second principle is the Pareto principle, which is stated that 80% of the results come from 20% of the task. So if you can identify the task that you need to have for exam, the vital skill that you need to have for exam, then it would give you a more productive study plan. And then the third one is the flow, the flow principle, which state that align your strength with the task that you're trying to do to maximize your motivation. So those are the mindset you need to have in any exam, not only for PMP. So with PMP mindsets, I will talk about what mindset you need to have when taking this exam, because it's not a memorized exam. You can't just memorize information. You have to know the concept because it's going to present itself in a situational manner. It's going to give you a situation and then give you options on how you can solve that problem, which means that you need to understand the concept in a deeper level for you to pass it. You cannot just memorize concept and pass this one. So that's where I'm going to talk. I'm going to use the Microsoft Copilot to give you that interactive action on how you can have a mindset on way to pass it. Right. This is my study goal. So as I say, I was going to share my example on how I approach it. So I'll break it down to where each time or each week I'm focusing on each concept. Because if you understand those concepts, then now when you are presenting with situation, you can be able to use them in a situation manner to answer the question properly. So it start with, so this is the glide path I use. So I use week 1 through week 6, just study for different topics that will be presented on the exam. And then for the last 2 weeks, I went and took the full examination or example of full examination, which I will be represented with an interactive that I will demonstrate later on. But this is example of how you can break down your task on the study with this. It go back to that Parkinson principle, where like if you break it down, you could be able to implement it. So the task you won't be able to procrastinate because now you put it down into paper or a schedule where you're going to follow that step. And also it's going to feed into your flow, which now you're knocking out each task. And so that's what I recommend for when you study for PMP exam. Break it down into tasks so you could be able to understand each concept as you go through them. And this is example of how I'll break it down. So first day, introduction to project management, the foundation, right? The second day, the third day, right? Then I'll go to the second week, the same thing, right? Uh, third week, fourth week, and so forth, right? So that's the way I study for the PMP exam. However, I'm going to show you the way you can interactively study for this. So to get a practice on the PMP using interactive testing technique, you can use the Microsoft Bing Copilot. And there are two ways to go to that. If you have the app, you would have a logo down here that you can log in. Or you can just go to the Microsoft search engine and type in PMP exam. And you just go to Copilot. You just wait for it to set up. And now it is set up. And for you to do that, to get the interactive examination, you can prompt it. And prompting the AI mean that you want the lens where you want the answer to come from. For this one, we'll say act as an PMP examiner. And there it is. It starts giving you questions, right? All right. And you could say, give me PMP exams questions. Again, this one would just be a sample what they are because the PMI doesn't disclose what kind of question they have, right? But it can give you how is it going to look, right? Or what kind of information they're looking for. And you see it's giving me questions, like 2-minute questions, and you can refine it to one question. There it is. Now it is set up where I can ask it to give me a interactive question. Okay, so for example, this one it says a project manager is working on a project with a tight deadline. During the planning phase, the project manager realized that the project scope is not clearly defined. What should the project manager do first? First, proceed with the project and define the scope later. Meet with a stakeholder to clarify and define the project scope. Escalate the issue to the project sponsor and delay the project until the scope is defined. So the right answer is 2, right? So I'm going to put 2, and then it's going to evaluate it, right? And it said that is correct. And I would say, okay, give me another question. It will go, okay, let's go. All right, it says a project as a high-risk item identified during the risk assessment. What is the best approach to manage this risk? Transfer the risk to another party. You never want to do that. Ignore the risk and hope it does not occur. No, you do not do that. Create a contingency plan to mitigate the impact if the risk occur. Yes. Accept the risk. Number 3 is the right answer. But let's say we want to, we'll give her the wrong answer intentionally, and then it can explain it to us. Right? See, now I would say actually to transfer the risk to another party can be a valid strategy, something, but it may not always be the best approach, especially if you have a capability to manage it effectively within the project. In this case, the best approach would be creating a contingency plan, and it would give you why. Right? And let's do another one. Give me another question. Okay, another question. During the execution of a project, a team member reported that a critical task is behind schedule. What should the project manager do? Blame the team. Update the project schedule to reflect the delay. Investigate the cause of the delay and take the corrective action. Inform the project. Correct answer is C, or is 3, right? So we'll put 3. See, the best course of action is this. Right? And you can go on with that. You could say, refine it to where give me a quality related question. So just so if let's say you master the other part, but you're not as good in the quality department and you want to practice that, then you can go be like, okay, so now this is a question on quality. A project manager is overseeing a project that requires a high level of quality for delivery. During a quality audit, the project manager discovered that the delivery do not meet the quality standard. What should the project manager do first? And then these, when they say project manager, they talking about you, because you're taking this exam as a project manager. So it's a rework the delivery to meet the quality standard. Document the quality issue and continue with the project. Discuss the quality issue with the project team to identify the root cause and escalate the quality issue to the project sponsor, right? So this, when it says something about finding the root cause, stepping back the problem, some in that nature is more likely going to be the right answer. So I'm going to go with 3 on this one, right? So let's see 3, and let's say see correct. So this is a pretty good tool when it comes to practicing with any exam. You just got to prompt the AI to look at it from that lens and make sure that is giving you the way the test is gonna come during examination, right? With these questions, like as I was saying, it's going to give you a situational based questions. It's not going to give you some type of question where you just memorize something. It's going to give you a situation and present you a problem to solve. And depending on the option they give you, then you would pick. Right? So this is a good tool. You could utilize it to prep you for any exam. It doesn't have to be the PMP exam. It could be any exam, but you can utilize this tool to increase your mastery on that subject. So again, this is a good tool. If you want to prep for PMI or PMP exam, I found this one to be very useful when practicing.